Let's practice a dilation. So, bear in mind the notation here. The big D tells me it's a dilation. The first letter after that tells me what my center of dilation is, in this case the point P. After that I have the scale factor, 2, and now I'm being told what this dilation is being applied to. In other words, ABC is my preimage. So, recall that what a dilation does is it takes every distance from my center of dilation and it multiplies that distance according to the scale factor. So what that means is each of these points, A, B, and C, are going to be twice as far from P as they are right now. In effect, this is going to make ABC twice as large. So here's how we do that. The first thing you want to do is draw a very light line from your center of dilation that passes through all of your preimage vertices. There's one of them there, the one that passes from P through C, and the one that passes from P through B. So, all we have to do with dilations is take that original distance from P over to A. And since my scale factor is 2, a scale factor of 1 would leave the shape unchanged. So a scale factor of 2 means it's got to be twice as far. So there's 1 times the distance. Now that's 2 times the distance. And I place my point A prime right there. Again, I repeat for all my other points. I take the distance that B originally is from point P. There's a scale factor of 1. There's my scale factor of 2. Place my B prime. And lastly, for C, measure to that preimage. There's my scale factor of 2. Now that I've placed all of my preimage vertices, I'm going to create that figure by connecting all of my image points together. Ooh, I need new lead. When I look at my finished product, the 2 things I want to make sure is that the 2 shapes are similar, meaning they're the same shape and all my angles look the same. And our sides will all be in proportion with one another. In particular, since my scale factor is 2, each of my line segments in my image should be twice the length of the preimage. The last thing to check, in a dilation, all line segments will turn into parallel line segments. So you just want to check that all of your corresponding line segments look parallel. Now let's take a look at dilations when they become a little bit trickier. If I was given a preimage triangle that in this case might be a little bit larger, and this time let's deal with a scale factor that's 1/2. Again, the same principle applies. What is happening to ABC is that wherever my center of dilation is, in this case I'll place it right here, all of the distances that it currently is from P to A, P to B, and P to C, I am dilating, I am changing that distance by cutting it in half. So what I do is I start exactly the same way. I draw my line segment from P to A. And now, since I want to find the halfway mark along this line, I'm going to draw the perpendicular bisector of this line segment. Now you'll notice that this distance from P to A is really long. And if I tried stretching my compass all the way to P, by the time I tried making an arc, one of them is going to be falling off of my page. So recall that you can draw a perpendicular bisector by just making sure that your compass is past what you can visually see is about halfway. I make an arc above and below. Then I repeat from the other side of it. I make an arc above and below. And in this case, the one up here, my first one I didn't make long enough. So I'll just repeat it. Now I see between this point of intersection of those arcs and this one, the perpendicular bisector runs right through there. But I don't care about that whole perpendicular bisector. I just care about finding that halfway mark. So I'm going to line up my straight edge, and I'm just going to mark where it would cross that line segment, because that right there, that's the halfway mark. That's my A prime. Let's repeat it for B. I'm going to start by drawing a light line from P to B. Now that I have that line in there, I want to find the halfway mark. So I'm going to draw the perpendicular bisector of this line segment. I make an arc above and below, and then I flip to the other side. Above, below. Line up my straight edge, and then I just mark where it crosses the halfway mark, because that there will be my B prime. And I have one more to go. From P to C, I make my light line that connects them, and then I draw the perpendicular bisector of that line segment. I make sure my compass is at least halfway, and I make an arc above, below, move to the other side, an arc that's above it and below it. I line up my compass between those intersecting arcs, and where they pass through, that right there, that's my C prime. So I form my image figure. And again, since it's a dilation, I know that the two figures will be similar. Their shape is the same, their angles are all the same, their sides are in a proportion, and all of my corresponding line segments should be parallel.